I'm on my way to Detroit to handle some matters with my attorneys. Thought I'd give you a chat and tell you a little bit about what's going on since I have some time to kill. I mentioned to you that we lost the MMMA. What I meant by that is, with medical marijuana cases, the medical marijuana, the MMMA, Michigan Medical Marijuana Act, Section 4 and Section 8 of that act gives us defenses in the marijuana industry. Why we're not able to use those defenses in court? Well, every situation's different, and my situation is much different. The confidential informants were not disclosed to us, so we couldn't bring them on the stand during our motions with regards to the Section 4 and Section 8 defense. So we really had nobody to testify as to the legality or illegality of their transactions with the bud tenders over the counter. So those got thrown out, along with every other motion we've had so far. Been about 30, I think. All part of the corruption going on. And I'll just give you a whole lead of it all. But there's something I want to tell you about this. I've been a paralegal for 24 years in West Michigan. And I've been very verbal about all the corruption in the law enforcement, the detectives, the courts, and how it's getting worse and worse. But you know one thing that still bothers me about it all? They've never denied it. Never in 24 years have they denied being corrupt. They know they're corrupt. They got bills to pay and kids to take care of too, and you know, it's not hard, it's not easy for them to step out of that money pit. So that's what I'm trying to expose here. Every time you look at your paycheck and you see these taxes coming out for the city and the county and the state, you now know that you're supporting this corruption going on. And don't whine and cry on other people's shoulder about the corruption if you're funding it. Do you see how that works? I hope so. But anyway, the Section 4 and Section 8 defenses were thrown out in our case. So now basically anything involving marijuana, the word marijuana, can't be talked about. The sign-in sheets that the Safe Transfer Point people used, they're going to block off the top part of it, which had the description of, it was a verbiage of what the patient agreed to at the time they signed in and signed out with their new caregiver. So that's getting thrown out of the mix. It's pretty much a shit show. It's going to be an interesting trial. I'm pretty sure the judge is going to do everything in his power to make it go to an appeal, because he doesn't want to make any decisions in it, because it's a pretty big case. I mean, biggest case in Michigan for medical marijuana that we've found so far. If anybody else can find a bigger one, please let me know. I talked to, gosh, what is her name? I don't have it in front of me. She's a marijuana advocate, and she's a, what do you call it? She's a, she works for the news. And I told her to get a hold of Michael, so I guess I'm hoping that she talked to Michael about what's going on and she can get the bigger picture and the story of what's going on. In the court case last time we were there, Prosecutor Greg Bohr did something really nice for me, and I thanked him for it. He said that he would gladly allow me to do an ex parte, which means a motion in front of the court without him there, to adjust my bond so that I can medicate, so I can smoke my marijuana for my medical conditions. And so hopefully I can have that happen, and that will relieve the stomach issues that I'm having, because the only other medication I have is dangerously burning holes in my stomach, to make it plain and blunt. So if I'm in that much pain and I have to pop one of them pills, the risk that I'm losing my stomach, or my pouch, I guess you could say, on top of everything, it's huge. And I'm sure my gastric bypass doctor is saying, damn you, Sue, quit it, I told you not to do it. But, you know, pain is pain, and you got to deal with it. And with fibromyalgia, as a lot of you know, when you're brought into a stressful situation, or psychologically or physically stressful situation, your nerves in your body freak out. And what I call it is rigor mortis. It feels like rigor mortis. Your body tightens up and you get really stiff, and the nerves freak out and cause every pain in your body, every sensor pain in your body to freak out. It's like being alive and having rigor mortis. It's terrible, terrible stuff. And the head part of it's even worse because the headaches are so so bad. They're migraines, seriously, migraines. Been going through a lot of paperwork, getting my stuff in order. Should the judge decide to throw me in jail and I get sick, putting all my life in order with my daughter, my mom, my family, my financial advisors, my other moms. I got a lot going on out here, and it's got to be taken care of should I be put away. And needless to say, this won't end just because I'm in jail. Quite the contrary. So I'm hoping that they'll realize that what they're doing to me is only making matters worse. And the longer they prolong it out, it's even worse now. But at the last motion, before we even started the motions and the hearings, the judge called both attorneys, the prosecuting attorney and my attorney, into the chambers without me. And they did some discussions, and then my attorney pulled me into the conference room by the courtroom there as you walk in and said, this is the situation. They want to throw the offer back on the table, and they were pissed because I didn't respond to their last offer some time ago. Well, I didn't know that they came back with another offer after the first time they did an offer. And there again, Attorney James Kybal dropped the ball, and I believe he's in cahoots with the prosecuting attorney. Thus, more corruption. Just a lot of the shit he did just didn't make sense. And the fact that he didn't give me all my records back, which I gave to my new attorney, and he didn't give them all back. And it caused so much drama in the courtroom between the two attorneys. Greg Bohr was accusing him of getting it, and he didn't get it, accusing my attorney, Michael Comorn, of getting records from Keeble, and he didn't. I saw those records. I went through those records, and I looked at them and gave them back to Keeble. And then when Keeble decided to bail ship on me, I told him to get those records to the attorney. So he gave me the binder back. I turned it over to Comorn, and needless to say, it was missing records. So I think it was intentional, and that will be addressed with a lawsuit against them through the state bar. He shouldn't be practicing law anymore after the shit he pulled with me. Of course, Attorney Matt Herman lost his bar license already, and he hasn't even seen my shit yet. So I filed those complaints with the state bar. I don't have much more to say about them anymore. It just gets me pissed off. But anyway, kind of rainy out right now and heading off to Detroit. Traffic's not too bad, which I'm very happy. I'll be heading back downtown to do my paperwork with the court, get some more stuff into them. My office at home is a disaster getting ready for the trial, but I'll have all my tubs with me. I need as many people as I can at the court for the support. It really helps with me, makes me feel better while I'm there. I don't know, it basically lets the judge know, hey, Sue's not alone in this. A lot of people have been put in jail. A lot of people have been, don't worry, Jody, I'm driving safe. A lot of people are put in jail over marijuana, and there's probably 30, 40 frontliners that I know personally through Facebook that have fought the good fight and lost. And the corruption along the way is what got them into jail or on probation for 10 years, something stupid. So, you know, I feel really bad. Chad Morrow, Don Koshmiter, Steve Green, Dave Overholt, the list goes on and on. These people have fought and fought and fought for everybody's right in marijuana. So if you're smoking a joint right now or you're hitting your bong, tell you what, you best text them a message and thank them for everything they've done to get you that far, because a lot of people went back underground, and to keep you safe underground, they're doing certain things to keep you from going to jail. A lot of people are foregoing their medical marijuana card. The card itself is corrupt. The name of your grower on the back of the card is highly dangerous. Cover it up. Put a sticker on the back. They don't need to be going to your grower's house after you get pulled over for a traffic violation and then raiding your grower. Don't be stupid. Personally, I think the cards should be thrown out, but here's the biggest corruption of it all. Should I lose my case, the case law, which would be State of Michigan versus Susan Bond, will trump the MMMA, because basically everything I was doing was following the MMMA to the T. I used attorneys to make sure of it. Got 3 law firms that handled it for me. So the MMMA will then, after I get charged with being corrupt and racketeering, the MMMA will now be considered racketeering and corrupt, and it'll get shut down. And that's exactly what these deep pockets out of the legislature want. They want to run the MMFLA, the new laws that are coming out starting in December 15th of this year. They want that to supersede the MMMA. Well, the only way to get the MMMA out of there is to get case law shutting her down. And guess what? They want my case to do it. So basically everybody will end up going back underground. These deep pockets will start opening up these huge grows. They'll open up these huge elaborate dispensaries, and they'll be owned by mayors and governors and all these deep pocket people running through legislature and Lansing. And the corruption will continue. It's all happening in Vegas. I saw the whole pattern in Vegas when I worked with them in their whole process of what was going on. When they called me asking me, Sue, how should we do this? And I showed them how to do it. They loved it, they did it, then they saw the money flowing in, and now they're doing the same corruption that Michigan's now following right in the footsteps of Las Vegas. So I've seen it. I've seen it a long time ago. The MMMA is very corrupt, apparently, in their eyes, and they want it out of there, and they're going to use Sue Bond to make it happen. And if she dies over it, so what? Us 100 people are going to be millionaires. Woohoo! Well, shame on you all. Shame on you. You know, karma's going to take over, and you know, when your electricity bill gets shut off or something nasty and dangerous, your house gets hit by a tornado, you know, think of me. I want you to think of me, because karma will do that to you. You can't be walking in the dark energy and not have this nasty stuff happen to you and not feel that you had some action in the whole situation. So, oh well, that's all you. I published the list of people who the prosecutor is going to call. One of them is Kristen Selby. She was the last manager of the Safe Transfer Point. I filed a police report against her, and that's one of the reasons why they came after me, or they're using it as a tool to come after me. She was stealing marijuana and money. I have the video of it. And I have many pieces of video of it, and I'll be bringing that to court with me. How they think they can put her on the stand and testify against me is beside me, because all the criminal evidence I have against her won't make her look good at all. And so, you know, like the Detective Young, he's also on the prosecutor's list. No, not Detective Young. Detective E.J. Johnson. He's on the list too. He pretty much said in a transcript I have and on a video I have when I was in the interview room that they're a bunch of liars. And he said that Kristen, Alicia, all those people that they were interviewing and whatnot are liars. They can't be trusted. So, you know, why put them on the stand if even your detectives are admitting they're liars? So it'll be a pretty interesting case. Detective E.J. Young, he's been really nice to me, but then he plays the two-sided game. He lied to me many, many times, over and over. Got it on recording, got it on transcript. It's just the game he plays in the dark energy when you're a detective in that whole situation. He's only been in charge. He's only been in charge of KNET for almost 2 years now. It was only a year at the time of my arrest. But as he said, he didn't want to mess with me. He wanted to be my best friend. And he wants me to do everything legally, open back up, and do everything legally, and that he'd be my best friend in all this. Well, like everybody can testify, I never wanted to be a dispensary, and I never claimed a dispensary, and the safe transfer point was never my baby. So basically, I never wanted it. I'd have been much happier just shutting it down. So I'm going to find it very interesting to see when they put Detective Johnson on the stand and everything. I have cross-examining him. Another detective they're putting up there is Detective Warren Hansen. Detective Warren Hansen. Detective Warren Hansen was with CI, confidential informant, and he was wearing a wire, and he and Warren Hansen went into the safe transfer point to get marijuana. And the confidential informant, of which they refused to name him, said that he saw me over the counter and saw me talking with one of the bud tenders, and they have it on audio, I guess, a recording. So they claim that's their kicker, or one of the reasons why. But mind you, all of this testimony, as we talk about this confidential informant over the counter and all of this and what they were doing and how they were doing it, you can't mention the word marijuana. So you got to get quite creative and artistic in your discussions of everything, and not allude that it was involving marijuana by any means. You don't want a mistrial or an impeachment. So, gosh, it's almost like playing a big Monopoly game or something, and you're trying to get strategic. It shouldn't be that way. You know, there should be honesty, sincerement, unbiased behavior by the judge. You know, this all should be played with morals and scruples. But it's not. It's quite the opposite. And myself not being a dark energy, walking into this light energy with an attorney that has dark and light energy capabilities is going to be interesting to see. He's very good at what he does. Him and his whole slew of people that support him. Let's see. There was another confidential informant that went in, got some marijuana supposedly from the safe transfer. They claim that, well, you know, I don't want to go into details on that just yet. But anyway, I have a phone call I have to take care of, so I'll have to chat at you later. Bye.